Like many kids his age, he was lured in by that fast money, the street life, the cars, and this would lead Eric to start hustling in the streets to get money. Eventually, Eric would start going by Reese Cup.
And see, that's what's crazy to me, bro. Cause like, I don't even understand how you can just trade in your whole athletic ability or trade in your future, bro. Like, gang, you had a way to get your whole family in a better position, but instead you like, man, I want to get that money right now. You know what I'm saying? I know they were back in the day, but it still go on today, bro. Like kids, like a trade in everything they got to go get some money. Like, bro, you got your whole life to get money, bro. YouTube, what's that word, man? What's the move, man? What y'all all, folk? Welcome back to the channel, man. Welcome back to the second reaction channel. And y'all know over here, man, we talk about gangbangers. Talk about them slider, bro. We talking about them one, you know what I mean? One of a kind, bro. Yeah, for sure. So y'all know we finna get into one, man. We got to get into one, man. Shout out my dog Boys in the Hood TV, man. You know what I mean? Y'all make sure y'all sub up, gang. Get gang right, you know what I mean? And the Lord gonna bless you. You feel what I'm saying? Anyway, we gonna tap into this, bro. Without further ado, man, we gotta get into it, bro. So we talking about this guy. His name is Lil Reese Cup. Lil Reese Cup. We talking about Lil Reese Cup. Now, you would think somebody that go by the name Lil Reese Cup ain't that tough. You know what I'm saying? But word on the YouTube street, Lil Reese Cup was one of them one, folks. So we just gonna tap into it, though. Let rock and roll.
Cup, I'm here to introduce Snoop Dogg, Trade Ego. Welcome to my city.
Welcome to Boys in the Hood TV. Today we're gonna be discussing the life of Double OG, Big Reese Cup from the East Side Rolling 20 CRIP.
Double OG.
Now, Big Reese Cup was born Eric Fraser in June of 1964 in the city of Long Beach. But Eric had a deep love for playing football.
It's so much drama in the LBC. It's kind of hard being Snoop D-O-Double G, but I somehow, some way keep coming up with funky hits like every single day. Do your homework on LBC.
Ball as a kid and had hope one day that he could possibly play pro ball. You know, by the 70s, there was a local crew in his hood called the Rolling 20 Hustlers. Now, who at the time, they were known for stealing cars and most importantly, just known for getting money and being hustlers in every sense of the word. Now, seeing this as a kid, Eric and his brother would take all of this in. Now, one of his close childhood friends was a kid by the name of Baron, also known as Big Flossie. Now, the two were known to ride bikes every day throughout the hood, before and after school. Now, at the time, one of the most feared families on the east side was the Gator family, and one of the most well-known members was OG Papa, aka Willie. Now, this family had a reputation which struck fear in a lot of people around that neighborhood. So if you fought one of the brothers, you had to be prepared to...
Hey, man, let me ask y'all this, bro. Like, back in the day, right? Y'all let me know. I don't know, bro. But, like, I remember my uncle came home from the chain gang, right? Man, this Negro was so swole, bro. Like, he was diesel. I said, but what the hell going on? What the hell going on in jail? What are y'all doing in jail, bro, to make y'all look like that? Like, he was, bro, to my abs, chest popping, bro, biceps like, boom, boom. And I'm like, how did you get like that? You feel what I'm saying? He gonna tell me, nigga, just do your push-ups. No, push-ups ain't did that, bro. You feel me? So, I guess my question is, like, how were they able to get physiques like they had? Like, what, like, was it, did it used to be weights in the chain gang or something? I don't know, gang, but like these guys, like, no homo, no diddy, none of that, but they looked great to be in the situations that they was in. I know they probably ain't had nothing but time. You know what I'm saying? So they probably worked out every single day. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't got nothing but time. But like, gang, they had to be on a strict diet of like, gang. Like, what is, like, what was their regimen, bro? Nigga, and I'm trying to get right, plugging everything into my fitness pal. Like, ain't no way they had all that. And they looking like this. That's crazy.
Fight all of them. Now, around 1975, at a party in Long Beach on Salt Lake, most of the east side was in attendance at this party. The 20 Hustlers, the Gator family, and others. Now, at some point in time, there would be talks of certain individuals clicking up and joining other groups, but there would be a disagreement about this, and this would lead to a split on the east side. Now, that rift would create the formation of the Insanes, whose main hood will be on 21st Street. Now, even with this rift, there wasn't any real tension between the 20s and the Insanes at the time, because for the most part, everybody had family members on both sides. Now, eventually, Eric would attend Franklin Junior High School in 1976. Now, Franklin Junior High was considered gladiator school. Now, this is where a lot of fights popped off and a lot of kids caught their first fades. Now, Eric was said to be a menace with his hands and running fades at Franklin with anybody. Now, eventually, this reputation of Eric's wouldn't just be at school, but it would be outside of school also, and he would be known throughout the neighborhood for having solid hands. Even with fighting, Eric loved to play football, and he would eventually start playing Polly Pop Warner along with his friends. Now, he would play the quarterback position, and he would excel. Now, around this same time, he would also be friends with future comedian named Ricky Harris, who also played QB, but was the backup. Now, both Eric and Ricky were known for roasting each other and all their homies, whether it be at practice or just kicking it on the block. Now, Eric's talents would lead him to winning multiple trophies through playing football, which would make his mother proud. Now, after middle school, later Eric would attend Poly High School, and of course, he would immediately go off with a football team, and it would only be a matter of time before he shined and became a star quarterback. But although he was making headways in Long Beach as one of the up-and-coming QBs, he would start to get in trouble hanging out on the block with the neighborhood OGs from the Rolling 20 Hustlers. Like many kids his age, he was lured in by that fast money, the street life, the cars, and this would lead Eric to start hustling in the streets to get money. Eventually, Eric would start going by Reese Cup.
And see, that's what's crazy to me, bro. Cause like, I don't even understand how you can just trade in your whole athletic ability or trade in your future, bro. Like, gang, you had a way to get your whole family in a better position, but instead you like, man, I want to get that money right now. You know what I'm saying? I know they were back in the day, but it still go on today, bro. Like kids, like a trade in everything they got to go get some money. Like, bro, you got your whole life to get money, bro. Focus on this right now. You know what I mean? Because this what's gonna get you paid, bro. Like, I remember when I was growing up, bro. You know what I mean? Because I grew up around, you know what I'm saying? I grew up around the D-boys. You know what I mean? But I was like, how can I get what they got without going to jail? Oh! You feel me? Like, how can I get a nice house? How can I get clothes, cars, shoes? How can I get a beautiful woman on my side without jail? Like, but I guess they don't think like that. They like, no, how can I get money? Jail or not? Like, it's just crazy to me, bro.
Which he got from his big brother, Maurice. Now, his street activities will ultimately lead him to being arrested, and this will have a big effect on his high school football career. Now, Poly High School had high hopes that once he got out, they'll be able to save his position, but sadly, Reese Cup couldn't stay out of trouble.
It's crazy.
And he would end up getting locked up yet again, and this time, he was sent to camp. Now, while at camp, he was still a menace behind them walls, and it was said that he would be one of many who would come up with the idea to call the Rolling 20 Hustlers the Rolling 20 Crips. And around 1978, the Rolling 20 Hustlers were no longer the Hustlers, but now they will go by the Rolling 20 Crips. Now, eventually, Eric's football dreams will go down the drain, and soon he will be fully engulfed into the gang and street life. Now, by the 1980s, Long Beach was hit with a wave of gang violence, just like LA and Compton, both on the west and east side of the city. You had gangs like the Insane Crips, the Rolling 20s, the Longos, the Rolling 80s, and many other sets. Now, the black gangs on the east side, like the Rolling 20s and the Insanes, were in a heavy war with the Longos, and this was a violent and ruthless war with a lot of gunplay. Now, Reese was extremely active in the streets at this time, and he would be in and out of jail constantly. Now, he was set to graduate by 1983, but in 1982, he would get locked up again, but this time, he would be sent up to prison in Tracy. Now, once he got back out on the streets in Long Beach, he would be front lining it, and he would be looked at by many as a general of the 20s. It was said that Reese would pull up on the block and run anybody off the set that had no business being there, especially anybody that was out on the street trying to slang in the hood without permission. Now, Big Reese Cup would also look out for a lot of the kids in the neighborhood who loved playing football and try to show them the ropes when it came to the game. But one kid in particular, by the name of Calvin Broadus, which would be eventually known as Snoop, he would be seen as a big homie to him. Now, Snoop would eventually get put on to the Rolling 20s, and Big Reese Cup would be somebody that Snoop looked up to, not only for his cripping, but also having that same love for football. Now, by 1984...
Imagine being able to build...
Dang, so he raised up Snoop Dogg. That's dope.
Cocaine would hit Long Beach heavy. Now this would lead to a lot of homies, especially on the east side, popping into the dope game to make their money. Now Reese Cup being the hustler that he would have his hands in everything. Now every now and then, Reese Cup would be known to visit his family out in South Central, who stayed in the V&G hood on 52nd Street. Now although this was a blood hood, Big Reese Cup got respect everywhere he went. Now it wasn't all about just gunplay with Reese Cup. If a fade needed to be ran, it was gonna go down. At one point in time, he'll run into another G by the name of Kool-Aid from the Insane Crips, while up at Fabulous Burger,
smack
they would
Kool-Aid.
instantly get to squabbling. Now this is the type of Crip that Reese Cup was. He was ready to get down anywhere, at any time, with anybody. Now by 1988, he would get arrested after breaking into a vehicle. Now once Reese Cup hit county, he was specifically asked to be taken to the notorious 4800 Crip module, which was the most dangerous area in LA County. Now this module, many people couldn't survive during this time period. So a lot of people would either become victims or they would roll it up.
And if y'all didn't know, roll it up mean get up out of there. Like they had to
Reese
go.
Cup was one of many Crips who didn't duck any fades.
Reese Cup ain't ducking no squabble, cuz.
4800, ready to get it cracking. Now as time went on, Reese Cup's rap sheet will continue to grow and stack up from minor to felony offenses. Now with the gang violence in the street heating up, it was mandatory for Big Reese to stay strapped, because at the time, with gang violence at an all-time high, any false move could cost him his life. But by late June of 1989, Big Reese would be arrested for being a felon in possession of a firearm. Now after being convicted, he would find himself facing a much longer stretch, this time behind bars. Now he would touch down in several different prisons over the years, like Cochran, Lancaster, and several other places. Now, although out on the streets,
Man, I can't cap, bro. Man, y'all may call me. I don't know what y'all would call me, but bro, Big Reese Cup had that. Bro, he had bodybuilding down packed, bro. And they look like he in the chain gang. This crazy to me, bro.
Streets, Long Beach hoods, like the 20s and the Insanes had issues inside that prison. None of that mattered. The Long Beach hoods who put all that nonsense from the streets will be pushed to the side, and they will all come together under one car, and that will be that Long Beach car. And this will make them one of the larger cars in prison. Now by 1998, Big Reese Cup will be released from prison, and he would immediately link up with his little cousin, Swoop G from Rolling 20s. Now at the time, Swoop G was with Death Row Records, and Big Reese Cup wasn't too fond of Swoop, working under a label ran by Da Moves. But also at that same time, his cousin was beefing with Snoop, which was his little homie. Now the things between Swoop G and Snoop would escalate after Swoop G called a Reese Cup to come out to San Bernardino to meet up with him at a Snoop Dogg and DJ Quick show. Now Reese specifically told Swoop G that he planned on having a conversation with Snoop backstage about the situation, but Swoop G would decide to run up on stage against Big Reese's wishes, and things will go down. Now this will lead to a big old brawl, and eventually it will be broken up by the police. And this incident would cause a split with a lot of people on the east side of Long Beach, especially with the 20s. Now Reese Cup at this point wanted to get into the industry and work with his cousin Swoop, but the issue was Swoop's affiliation with Suge Knight, and Suge Knight had that close affiliation, repping Mob Piru, and had a lot of dial moves over at the label. And Big Reese Cup being the Crip that he was, he didn't want no parts of working for any dial moves. So ultimately, Swoop G would go his way, and Reese Cup would go his way, and this would lead to Reese linking up with his little homie Snoop, who at the time was working with a group called the Eastsiders, which included Trey D and Goldie Loke. Now Reese Cup would make an appearance in the G'd Up video, was dropped in early 1999.
My name Gangsta Reese Cup. Trey D, Goldie Loke. Where we from up in here, baby? Eastside. It's a beautiful thing y'all doing, man. Firsthand what we was doing, and then you turned it into an art, and you the world up.
Now over the next several months, Reese Cup will continue to kick it with Snoop,
That's
but
dope.
even with all this going on, being a part of the industry and rocking with Snoop, he was still an active member of the Rolling 20s. And like many gangsters in the street, it's hard to shake that street life, and it's extremely easy to get caught back up in the mix. And by early 2000s, Big Reese would find himself in trouble yet again with the law. Only after being out for a year, by June of 2000, he would find himself back in prison yet again. But this time, he'll be sentenced to over 20 years in prison after putting in work. But even behind the walls, he's still repping 20s and standing tall. Now, as of today, Big Reese is 60 years old, and he's currently eligible for parole in 2027. I would like to thank everybody for tapping in, and I'll see y'all next time.
Man, free Big Reese Cup, man. They say gang gonna be eligible for parole next year. Hopefully he get out. He's 60, bro. Hopefully he, you know what I'm saying, he get out and he can just chill, bro. You dig what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Snoop probably bless him with a job or something. I don't know, bro. Once you got that gang banging mentality, bro, you it's hard to get rid of it, especially when you from LA. For some reason, bro, the folk from LA, bro, like they gonna gang bang to that casket close for sure. You know what I'm saying? Shout out LA though. Shout out not LA, Long Beach. When you from Cali, I'm gonna say Cali because I be getting that mixed up. You know, I ain't gonna lie. Like y'all gotta know, bro. Like when you ain't from the west side, bro. You know what I mean? You really look at LA as Cali. You know what I'm saying? Like it was not until I kind of got into the YouTube space that I understood that you got Oakland, you got Sacktown, you got Long Beach. You know what I'm saying? You got San Bernardino. You got a lot, bro, in California other than Los Angeles, bro. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Cali as a state, but free that boy Big Reese Cup. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to him, gang. But hey though, y'all let me know how y'all feel about it though, folk, in the comment section down below, man. Don't forget to like, hype. Don't forget to subscribe. After subscribe, make sure you ring that bell. After you ring that bell, make sure you hit all so you don't miss none of these bangers. Mob life or no life, mob will no way. You know how we coming. OTM gonna get it out that mud every single day. I go by Don. I love y'all, man. I'm rocking with y'all in that next vid. Let's go. Gang. You know we got the streets, nigga. We got the trap too. I say my trap doing numbers. I just bust another jewel. Got a player around the corner. Hey. I say my trap doing numbers like that 05 summer. Got a quarter pound on me. Hey. The trap doing numbers.